Imagine one rainy spring evening, you're driving down the highway and you come upon a semi-truck and trailer. You're completely aware that you should never follow too close. But your mind is wandering. You're still thinking about today's events at work or maybe what you're going to have for supper. Suddenly the truck in front of you hits his brakes, yielding to a big bunch of deer crossing the front of the road. Your quick reflexes kick in and you hit the brakes, avoiding an accident. The truck driver is also unharmed thanks to his attentive driving and a small 2-pound mechanism on his trailer called a TEV valve. Today I would like to entice your curiosity on what assists a semi-truck trailer in the braking process. Working with these kind of valves for 3 years, I can tell you the assembly and the repetitive inspection process is monotonous at times. By the end of this presentation, you will understand the complete function of a TEV valve that ultimately assists the trailer in the braking process. With that said, let's get started. The TEV valve is a 3-chamber device that is located on the underneath side of a semi-truck trailer. As I mentioned earlier, it only weighs 2 pounds and can be compared to the size of a red Solo Cup. When a driver initiates his parking brake, air flows into what is called the spring brake control port, forcing an exhaust shuttle inside, which is about the size of a $50, inside against the seal to close off the exhaust port. Then the pressure protection port prevents false release of the brakes and provides ejection of any control fluid contaminants. Is everybody totally lost yet? Good, as you should be. So here I have a visual that may help you understand just what it is I'm trying to talk about. On the underneath side of here is the spring brake control port. It has 4 small components inside. Each part is individually assembled in the factory. And then on the back side of it is what they call the pressure protection port. This port is no bigger than the size of a jumbo hot dog, for better reference. And inside it there are 6 components. Each are very important that all these components that's in this port are aligned properly, otherwise it won't work. And then the last port up here is the anti-compound port. And in this port there are 3 small components, and it is sealed up with this brass bushing, and for extra sealant they put Loctite on it to keep it tight. Now that we know what each port consists of and have a visual of what the port looks like, now let's show the tests that make sure that it works. Visual inspection of the valve initially is key. After the assembler has finished building the valve, it's passed on to an operator. The operator does an overall eyeball inspection, making sure that the threads in the back end here are not cross-threaded, there's no brass in the way, and also to make sure that there's no porosity on the valve itself. Any kind of air leaks need to be checked for. If it's on a trailer and there's air leaks, the brakes aren't going to work. Once the operator approves the appearance, it is ran through a series of tests, making sure that the components are opening and closing as they should. Now this all sounds very extensive. The whole process from the initial inspection from the assembler to the valve being completely built and then to the operator doing his inspection and running it through the test only takes about 3 minutes per valve. Once all tests are passed, these valves are then date coded right here on the bushing as a way to brand them for the day that they were packaged. For example, today's date code is April the 9th, 2014, and the date code is 0994, which is the equivalent of the 99th day in the year 2014. Phew, that was tough, huh? Let's summarize, shall we? There was a deer in the middle of the road. The truck driver applied his brakes. A little red Solo Cup stopped the trailer, and something about a jumbo hot dog. No, seriously. A little 2-pound TEV valve does big things when assisting in the braking process. Remember, it has 3 ports, all working together to control the airline pressure that initially applies the parking brake. Much care is taken in the assembly and final packaging steps of the TEV. Extensive tests are performed to make sure all components are working correctly. The valve is checked for air leaks, date coded for the knowledge of what day it was, usually for warranty purposes. So, The next time you find yourself behind a semi pulling a trailer, remember, there is extra reassurance that the brakes have a backup, just in case of system failure for whatever reason.